Hello everyone. Today let us consider Playfair cipher. So when we are going to consider Playfair cipher, here we are going to follow these 4 rules. So what are those rules is, uh, before considering these 4 rules, the message will be represented as diagram. Diagram is nothing but a set of 2 alphabets. So for example, here the given plain text is final examination. So here I'm going to group two characters. So here the first diagram is Fi, and the second diagram is Na, third diagram is L, and E of the second letter, second word, and the fourth diagram is XA, and the fifth one is MI, and then NATION. So like this, we have to divide the message into diagrams, means group two letters. Okay. While grouping, if there is a same element, for example, in the message balloon. So if I take the example as BALLOON. So here what happens? BA are 2 different letters, but L and L are same letter. So when both the letters are same, I cannot able to do encryption. So in that case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a filler letter. Means I need to break this chain. So here, let me consider X as a filler letter. Then what happens? The message will becomes BAL, and instead of writing another L, I'm going to write X. So now this L is free. So I will group this L with O. Okay, the next letter, that is LO, and this O with N. So we can able to get like this diagrams. Okay. So this is the first rule we have to consider. Means whenever we are going to do grouping, we have to do we have to group such that a common letter must not be there in a diagram. If there is a common letter, we have to fill it with a filler letter. That is first rules. And the next rules, what we have to consider is, whenever we consider the matrix created by the key. So here the key whatever given is BALLOON. So while using this matrix, first we have to construct the key matrix of 5 cross 5, and then we have to do encryption. So these 3 will going to indicate encryption process. But in order to do encryption, first let us consider the matrix key, and then let us consider these 3 rules. So how to fill the matrix? So we have to consider the letters given in the key in a order. So here, but each letter must occur only once while constructing the matrix. So here the first letter is B. So the first one is B, and the next one is A, and then L. So another letter L has already occurred, so I will not going to repeat. And the next letter what is there in the key is O, and afterwards once again O is already occurred, so need not necessary to repeat. Then the value N. Okay, so only BALON, out of 26 letters, only 5 letters are placed in the first row. And the remaining matrix, how we can fill up? We can fill the remaining matrix in the alphabetical order. Okay, A and B are already there in the first row, so we are not going to use A, B again. So after A, B, the next letter is C, D, E, F, G, H, I and J we will write in the same box. I, J, K, L is already there. M, N is also there, and O is also there. P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So this is how we can able to construct the matrix. Now, using this matrix, we have to encrypt. While encrypting, we have to follow these rules. That is, if both the letters in the diagram fall in the same row, in that case, what we have to do? We have to replace the letter by the letter to the right. Means, see, in this example, in this plain text, Fi is the first one what I am considering. But here we can notice that F is in different row and I is in different row and different column. But the second diagram, what we are considering is NA. We can observe that N and A are in the same row. So this belongs to this rule. Okay. So if they are placed in the same row, then what we have to do? We have to replace each alphabet by the letter next to the right. Okay. And if this is at the end, so after this, there is no other element, means we have to consider right circular shift. Okay. So for N, the letter next to its right is B. And for A, the letter next to its right is L. So for N, the corresponding ciphertext will be B, and for A, it is L. So using this second rules, we can able to get the ciphertext. Similarly, when the letter falls in the same column, okay. So here we can consider the next diagram LE. So here in this we can observe that L and E are in the same column. So in that case, what we have to do? We have to replace with the letter beneath. Beneath means below that. Whichever the letter is below this letter. That is, if L means below L, we are having E. And similarly, below E, we are having K. So the corresponding ciphertext for LE will be E and K. Suppose if we consider the corresponding letter X, if I want to consider L and X, let me consider we are having a situation that L and X are in same column. Then what I have to do? For L, the below letter is E, but for X, what is the below letter? Once again, we have to take circular shift. So when I do circular shift, so here the letter below X will be treated as the topmost letter L. So that is what it is mentioned. So whenever the last element is there, the top letter of the column circular following the last. So here the last is X, and after this we are going to get the letter L. So in a circular fashion we have to consider. This is how we will going to consider the third rule. And the fourth rule what we are having is, when we are considering a pair of letter, means they are not in the same row and same column. In that case, we have to replace it by a letter that lies in its own row and column occupied by the other plain text letter. Okay, so here the first diagram, let me consider this. This fall in this category. Fourth rules. So here F is in one column and F is here and I is here. Both are in different row and different column. So according to that, what I have to do? If I want to encrypt the letter F, to encrypt the letter F, what I need to do? I need to consider same row and column of other plain text. So in the row of F and in the column of I, we are going to get the ciphertext letter as D. So F is replaced by D. And when I consider I need to consider the same row and column of another plain text. So here the same row and column of another plain text means the value will be M. So we are going to get the ciphertext as D and M. When I consider XA, here we can observe that X is in different row and column, A is in different row and column. So what I have to do for X, in order to encrypt X, the row of X and column of A. So here we are going to get the value as W. And for A, the row of A and column of X. So the value is L. And similarly, the next one, what we are having is MI. MI will fall in the same row. So as a result, what we have to do? We have to take the letter right to the corresponding plain text letter. So for M, the letter right to it is P, and for I, it is K. And similarly, for NA, already we have done for NA. So here also for NA, it is BL. And then what we are having is TI. T is in different row and column, I is in different row and column. So in order to find ciphertext of T, I need to take row of T and column of I. So we are going to get the character as R, ciphertext. And for I, row of I and column of T. So here it is M. And next ON. ON fall in the same row. Here we can observe. So as a result, for O, the letter right to it is N. And for N, the letter right to it is circular shift. It is B. So here the ciphertext is B. So now how we can able to, what is the corresponding ciphertext? So here the complete ciphertext will be equal to D, M, B, L, E, K, W, L, P, K, B, L, R, M, N, B. This is how we can able to get the ciphertext using Playfair cipher. Okay. Then how to decrypt. So till now we have considered how to perform encryption. The next thing is how to perform decryption. So let me write this in another page. So I'll write down the matrix, that is B, E, L, O, N, because in the matrix only once it has to be repeated, each alphabet. So as a result, we are having the key as BALLON, OON. So occurrence of L and O must be written only once. So the key matrix is here. After this key, what we have to do, the remaining characters in the alphabet we have to write, that is C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J will be in the same row, same box. K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Okay, this is the key matrix. And what was the ciphertext we had in the previous page? The ciphertext is DM, BL, EK. So we are having DM, BL, EK. And next we are having WL, PK, BL, WL, PK, BL. And next what we are having is RM and NB. So it is RM and NB. This is the ciphertext. Now I want to get back the plain text. So in order to get back the plain text, what we have to do? Whatever the process we did for getting the ciphertext, the reverse process we have to do. Means, so first let me consider DM. Okay, so here we are having the corresponding position. I mean, in the key matrix, here we are having D and here we are having M. So now what I have to do? I need to consider row of D and column of M. So row of D, column of M means, so row of D and column of M, I'm having F, and for M, row of M and column of D. So here it will be I. And similarly, we are having BL. So the fourth rule will remain same. That is, whichever the letter we want to find ciphertext means, plain text means, I need to consider its corresponding row and column of the next ciphertext. But when we consider like this, that is, which fall in the same row or in the same column, there what we did, that reverse process we have to do. So now let me consider the diagram BL. So here we can see that B and L will lie on the same row. So when they lie on the same row, while encryption, we have taken the letter right to the alphabet, plain text. But now here we have to consider left to the alphabet. Okay. So for B, the letter B before or left to that alphabet is N, and for letter L, the left letter is A. So like this, reverse we have to consider. And for EK, that fall in the same column. So while encryption, we are going to take the letter beneath, but here we have to take letter above. So for E, the letter above to E is L and the letter above to K is E. So this is how we can able to decrypt. Similarly for W and L, row of W and column of L. So row of W is and column of L is X, and for L, row of L and column of W is A, because in the corresponding row of W, I'm having X, and column of L, I'm having X. So W is replaced by X, and similarly L is replaced by A. And for PK, again here we have taken the letter right, but now we have to take the letter left to it. So the letter left to P is M, and for K it is I. And similarly for BL it is NA, and for R, M. So row of R and column of M is T, row of M and column of R is I. And again for NB, they fall in the same row. So for N, the previous or the letter left to it is O, and for B, the letter left to it is N. So now we can able to see that we can able to decrypt the message properly. Okay, this is how we can able to decrypt the message using Playfair cipher for a given key and ciphertext.